Virgos, the energies of February are upon us. Are you ready? Let's have an aligned astro chat about it. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to your Transformational Tarot for the month of February 2026 for Virgos. Virgos, this is for your sun, moon, and rising, and also your Venus, and for all of those who have a Virgo in their life that they love. We are going to be pulling an overarching theme card from the 22 Archangels Oracle from Kyle Gray today. And the deck that spoke to me for you guys for the main reading is the Moonlight Dream Tarot. I think you're going to love this one. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so let's see what our overarching theme is. February is going to be a little sticky from a collective vantage point, a collective perspective, but I want to say on an individual level, I feel like there's a lot here that we're going to be able to utilize. And here is our theme, Metatron. Oh, one of my faves, a heavy hitter, heaven to earth. Your current situation is in alignment with your mission on earth. Makes a lot of sense because I do feel like even though, as I was saying, there's going to be some craziness in the collective, on an individual level, the challenge is really how are you bringing heaven to earth? Where are your energy levels? And Metatron is all about sacred geometry, about Metatron's cube, right? The, oh my God. Merkaba. Oh boy, my brain. I'm in the clouds. I've been doing too many readings today already. So I'm a little airy-fairy and having a hard time grabbing my words. So the Merkaba, which is the way that we can leave the body and have out-of-body experiences, astral travel, be able to connect to the void space, our source energy, all that kind of stuff. And so heaven to earth, that is really going to be the theme for you guys this month. Is how do you keep your heavenly vibration, your higher frequency vibration high, regardless of what else is going on in the collective. This is going to be a month for you guys, I want to say, to maybe stay in a little bubble. This would be a great month for you guys to do maybe a social media detox, or a news detox, things of that nature. This is also going to be a great month for you to do a little bit of spring cleaning in your house, getting rid of things that just kind of take up clutter, or like your to-do list that you never seem to get done. And it's always niggling you in the back of your mind. This is going to be a good month to get that stuff done. Also, you really want to be making sure that you are cleansing and clearing and purifying your energetic field daily. And in some cases, you might have to do it a couple of times a day. Simply because I feel like there are just a lot of energies that you're going to be collecting. So in order to keep that high vibe up, there's a little maintenance to doing that. Okay, so this is you in the present moment. Where are you right now in your transformational journey? What part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? Interesting. Wow, you got the Tower. I'm just going to say I'm a Virgo as well. For those of you who are just joining for the first time, I'm also a Virgo, so I often say us and we and all sorts of things with the Virgo. I just did my new moon reading, and the Tower was the center card. It was the collective soul energy. So what my soul is learning. So I think that's really interesting that for this reading in the present moment, we are also in the Tower. And it makes sense from a collective perspective. We are still in the Tower. The Tower is falling. We're still in the earthquake, standing in the, I want to say in the door frame, hoping that, the earth is going to stop shaking, just trying to protect yourself and the ones that you love, keeping everybody safe and not worrying so much about everything else that's going on. You can't do anything. You can't lay foundation. You can't make the earth stop. You got to wait until it stops. And then, you can kind of put some action, put some wheels in motion. So I'm really feeling here that at present, what's transpiring for you is a shift in your perspective. The world is never going to be the same. And so as a result of that, there's no sense in crying over spilled milk about it. Feel what you feel, but then really look at, okay, so what are going to be the best next steps for me moving forward? If the world is not the same, and I'm seeing what, is sort of transpiring, what am I going to need moving forward? Because that needs to be my focus, and staying in the highest frequency and vibration, because I'm attracting it. I'm co-creating it. I'm in a space of co-creation. I'm just getting the hit that that's really the crux of February for us Virgos, is we are in a co-creative space. What we think is going to come to fruition. So we need to be really connected to that, really aware that our thoughts become things, and they're going to become things pretty quickly. So it's about preparation for what is to come, what we're seeking to have. So what part of you is shifting, rising, or dissolving? I really feel actually that this is an indicator of the rising, that you are, again, not crying over spilled milk, that instead you're saying, okay, it's been this way for a while. It's eventually going to stop. What goes up must come down. I don't need to focus on what's gone. I need to focus on what is to come. What is it that I'm going to need? Because I'm creating it. And this is the time to create it. And I need to keep myself in a protective bubble so that I'm creating the things that I absolutely need, and not creating things with a bunch of muck and muss and drama in the mix. Catalyst. What is fueling or hindering your transformation? Is this resistance or rocket fuel? Oh, I love this. 6 of Cups. So yeah, you're letting go of the past. It's acknowledging what can no longer be, but also acknowledging it from the perspective of, I'm grateful that I was able to experience it. Dreams that have not come to fruition. Maybe there's a little mourning of that, but I, again, feel like because you're in this very co-creative bubble and energy, this can really be a catalyst to help you to determine what it is that you want to create moving forward. You know, when I had this thing, when I had these lights, I felt elated. I felt safe. I felt motivated. I felt ambitious. I felt inspired. So I liked feeling those things. So I'd like to create an experience again where I feel those things, but I want to do it from the next level. I don't want to go and just keep living on level 1 all the time. I want to go to level 2 and level 3 and level 4 and level 5. I want to see how far I can actually make it, because I'm able to, expand upon my skills, my manifestation skills, my mad powers, my superpowers. This is the catalyst, and this is definitely rocket fuel for you. For some of you, there may be a little resistance that comes to this, because you may be in shock still about what's transpiring here, and still in the throes of trying to fix or trying to hang on or to save what this is. And if you are this person and that resonates with you, and the 6 of Chalices is really you getting caught up in the nostalgia of it, clinging to the past, I say with so much love, it's going to be a lot easier for you to release it. It's kind of like a limb that goes rancid or sour, or you get a sepsis or a real infection, and it gets so bad that if you don't remove the limb, you're going to die, because the whole body is going to become septic. And yeah, it sucks that the limb is removed, but you have your life. Right? I feel like it's that kind of energy. You want to really put it into perspective. There's no sense in holding on to any of this stuff. I use the analogy of being the calm in the eye of the storm, and you see, Farmer Brown and his truck going by, and you're like, okay, we got to help Farmer Brown. And you see Bessie the cow, and you're like, oh, Bessie the cow, she never hurt anyone. We're going to give her some help. And then you see the roof of your house going by, and you're like, oh my God, the roof of my house. You have to evaluate. Do you want to take the time and the energy to prioritize trying to save that roof that is already damaged? And maybe when you get it back, you might spend all that time saving it to try and put it back on the house, just to realize I have to scrap it anyway and start from scratch, right? So you want to really be thinking about priorities and what energy best serves me at this time. What is the best focus for me to really be leaning into and investing in? Deep root. What deep belief, wound, or soul contract is driving this transformation under the surface? The Chariot. Movement forward. You are moving, and you have been moving. We Virgos have been through the shit, but we're coming out the other side of it, right? We've been moving from island A to island B for quite some time. I feel like February is like, it's like the last kick at the can, or the last lap, the final mile. I feel like February is like a rite of passage. Like by the end of February, we're going to hit kind of a cross point, right? A crossroad, a choice point where we're crossing into the border of Island B. It's kind of that, oh my God, we arrived. We've been on the journey for a little while. It's been an interesting journey, some ups and some downs. But okay, we're finally here now. And yay. So the chariot, I feel, when we talk about the deep root, I feel like for you guys, it's being worried that you're never going to get there. Are we there yet, Mom? Are we there yet? Like my back hurts and my knees are sore and I got to pee and I'm so hungry and I finished all my snacks. Like, oh my God, this is torture. How many hours can I sleep this away? Like this is just where it's at. You just are anxious to get to this new place. Virgos, you've been kind of a little bit numb to this because you got to the point where you had to get numb in order to be able to continue to move forward. I have to let go of the attachment to the outcome or the timing of when this outcome is going to happen. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it. Well, now this is the month where you can start to get excited because you can actually see how close you are, right? It's arriving in the city. You finally cross the city limits to the location where you're going. You're still not exactly at your final destination, but now you're excited because you've got your eyes wide open. You're looking out the car window. You're looking at all the different sights and opening the window and smelling everything. And you're getting excited. Now the anticipation is coming in. That's what that feels like. I love that. So when we talk about that as a deep root, I feel like this is happening because it's giving you permission now to say it's okay to get excited. And that comes from the wounding that you have had over this past cycle. So you are, I want to say, having the opportunity to release the wound, to understand the purpose and the power of it, but to allow it now to fuel you, to be able to say it's okay to get excited because we're here now. What's dying away? What part of you is falling away? What role, pattern, or identity has run its course? Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, I want to say I felt this last month too. Maybe on a personal level, maybe it was in the reading. I can't remember now, but we're kind of like done planting seeds because we've been planting so many freaking seeds in our garden, hoping that something is going to stick, something's going to grow. That we've moved past that phase. It's not about the planting of seeds now. It's about nurturing the seeds that have been planted. It's about putting the focus, the attention, and the energy and the nourishment and the nutrition into the seeds that are starting to bud and grow. So this is definitely dying away. This idea of always being in the space of the pure potential, but never actually seeing the fruits of our labor. Instead, we're stepping more into a space of, okay, now we're nurturing the seeds. We're watching the seeds that are growing. Nothing more to say on that. That feels really good, and it feels very welcome. It's kind of like high time. All right, this is your highest Phoenix potential. What can rise from the ashes? What is your soul calling you toward? This is your breakthrough energy for February. Oh, beautiful. 2 of Wands, direction. You have a new direction that you can take. And I feel very much when we're talking about this highest Phoenix potential, it's almost like all the pain, all the discomfort, the disappointments that have occurred have left you feeling almost like, I'll just settle for one thing to go right, one thing. And instead, the universe is going to say, no, you worked hard enough. You get 2. You get 2 things. And this is a card of direction. And often 2s are indicative of a choice. But what I'm hearing here is it's not about choice. It's about saying, hey, you get 2 cookies, not 1. You worked really hard. And it wasn't that we were trying to make sure that you didn't have the cookies. It wasn't that we were trying to make sure you didn't have the outcome. It was that there were things that needed to be in place in order for you to be able to enjoy those cookies. right? We needed to have the right ingredients to match your alignment, to match where you wanted to go. And so I feel like this Two of Wands is coming through to say it's not about choice. You're going to have two rewards, two outcomes, desired outcomes, two happy things to explore and to enjoy. And you're going to have some, I want to say, some time frame of peace to be able to explore them and to enjoy both of those options because you've already done the work. You've put the work and the effort into it. I'm really drawn to this one star. And I feel like, there are two stars here. So, two directions that you can work towards. Absolutely. You're going to be able to reach both of them. But I'm drawn to the farthest star because I feel like there's something here that goes beyond like your comfort zone or beyond, that's not the right wording, beyond what you ever thought you could reach. And you're going to be shown that in February. It's like an opportunity presents itself. Somebody calls you from out of the blue and says, hey, I don't know if this is your jam, but we have an opportunity for you to, be a star, in this, famous TV show that everybody knows about. And, someone passed your name on. Are you interested in taking it on? Like, you don't even have to audition for it. We just need you to come in and you're going to fill the role. And you're just like, are you kidding me? Like, you're handing me something that I don't have to work really hard to achieve. And they're going to say, yeah. And it's because you've already worked. You've done the work. You've done the work. You're ready for it. So there's something about that star as well. I would be very interested to hear from you guys throughout the month. What that star ends up being for you. Because I feel like it's going to be for each one of us. An out of the blue, unexpected opportunity that is basically like a gift. It's handed to you. And it puts you further than where you originally thought you were going to get to at this point. So it feels really good. Next step, what's just around the corner? What energy or experience is coming in to support the next phase? You got your card, the Hermit card. So I feel like it's emerging out of the Hermit energy. There's been a lot of deep reflection. There's been a lot of light being shone on areas and aspects of the self that have been necessary and haven't been torturous, but haven't necessarily been joyous and free either. And I feel that this is coming to an end. So what's emerging, I feel, is the Hermit is coming out of hiding. The Hermit is coming out of the cave. The Hermit is rejoining the world. And it's interesting because we're seeing a reflection on I almost said the glass, the ice, a reflection on the ice here. And we're seeing the back part of it. And we see the Hermit kind of looking to the side, acknowledging it, but also saying, I'm ready for this new adventure. I'm ready for this mountain, this new journey that I'm about to take. And he's left his timer and he's left the lantern. He's walking ahead because he recognizes, I don't need all of that stuff anymore. I'm ready to rejoin the world. And I feel like this is a really big message for a lot of us. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've been extremely hermity. This really hits on the nose for me. Since last July, I got sick in July and it took me a while to recover from that sickness. And for whatever reason, like I had to hermit while I was sick, because I couldn't really do a whole lot. But then as I got well, I had no desire to go out, and I've been very, very hermity. So this is positive that this is what we are coming out of. So if this too is you, and you can relate to my experience and my story, I've been waiting for that, almost like concerned. Why am I so, antisocial or not wanting to be out and about in the world? I mean, there are a lot of, obvious reasons, but never in my life have I been, quite to this degree. And I understand that it's a process and it'll change. This too will pass, which is why I'm not overly concerned about it. But it feels good to know that it's coming to an end. Your role, you in this process, how are you navigating this transformation? Are you resisting, flowing, grieving, or boldly rising? We have the Seven of Pentacles. So interesting. I feel that you're in flow. I feel that the Seven of Pentacles is really about being in flow. And when we talk about you giving yourself permission to get excited about the journey, that's what the Seven of Pentacles is, because it's reaping the rewards, right? We talked about you're no longer having to, with the Ace of Pentacles, you're not planting seeds, you're now harvesting and nurturing the seeds that are being planted. So I still feel like you're in the process of doing some work, some reflective work, but you're actually starting to see the fruits of your labor. And that is what is going to allow you that space and that freedom and give you permission to say, it's okay to get excited. It's okay, because we're so close. We're so close to that breakthrough. We're so close. We're in the vicinity, of our outcome, of our desired outcome. So this feels really good. I also want to say, for those of you who are making some really big changes that involve like a relocation or involve releasing yourself from a particular relationship, a longstanding, kind of relationship, I want to say the flow is really important. So making sure that you're not sitting and wallowing in your choices. This requires going out and doing things to occupy yourself, to keep the momentum of the energy going. This is a 7 and the Chariot is a 7. And so I definitely feel like you want to keep the movement and the flow forward. You don't want to be going backwards. You want to be going forwards always. But you don't have to do it in a rush. That's where that flow comes. You allow the universe to bring you the opportunities, to bring you what it is that you need at that time, without you having to kind of like make it happen or take charge. This is very much being in flow with the universe, being in flow with that psychic energy, being in flow with your intuition. Interesting. Circles of support. Who or what is influencing your transformation right now? And is it a positive or a negative influence? Ooh, the Lovers. So, wow. Okay. I feel like the people that you keep around you and the reflections that they share, like how they see you and what they share with you about what they're seeing, is going to be very informative for you. It's going to be really helpful in order for you to keep in your alignment. And I go back to Metatron, that keeping your vibe high, right? Keeping your frequency high. So if you're hanging out with a friend and your friend says, wow, you're just really like a negative Nelly today, what's going on? You want to pay attention to that message and say, oh yeah, maybe I am being a negative Nelly. You're right. And it's not that you're bypassing what you're feeling. It's more of a recognition of, okay, I don't really want to feel this way. I don't need to feel this way. So I want to be more in this high vibe frequency. So then you can shift, right? So the circles of support, I feel, are the acknowledgments that you're receiving from other people, like the reflections. There's a word that I'm looking for. People giving you feedback on your mood, feedback on how they're receiving you. And again, don't beat yourself up, in terms of how you're showing up. It's just, if you get called out on that, take a look at that and say, okay, how do I bring heaven to earth? Because right now I'm stuck in earth energy. How do I bring heaven to earth? Because that's where my peace comes from. That's where my joy comes from. And it's about shining my inner light externally. If I've let the hermit journey go and I'm coming back into the world, right? Going from the solo journey to a collective journey, a collaborative journey, then this is how this needs to kind of open up. And this is where the growth is going to come from. Very interesting. Oh, I like that. Also, that's a Gemini card. So I feel like it's all in how you're communicating with yourself and source that is going to help you with that. Hopes and fears about changing. Who are you dreaming of becoming, and what scares you about actually doing it? Ace of Wands. Interesting. So yeah, you want to be that inspired action. You want to be able to say yes to the adventure and I'm moving forward without fear and total courage. And, I just want to live the inspired life. And I'm going to say to you, go for it. There's nothing stopping you from that. In fact, that is bringing heaven to earth. Because in heaven, whatever they manifest, whatever they think about in that moment, they manifest it in that moment. It's instantaneous because they don't have all the density. They don't have all of the physicality, that we have to work with. They also don't have all of the drama and the nonsense and shenaniganery that goes on in our heads, the overthinking. The fear that you have here is that you're going to put all your effort into, the inspiration, and it's not going to come to fruition because that's been your experience for the last few years. It's like pulling teeth, or you put, 10 pounds worth of investment into it and you get a half a pound back. It's the trickle, trickle, trickle. But I'm feeling here when we're talking about the hopes and fears, the whole message is that you are moving forward, right? You've arrived, like you're almost at the destination. It's like you're in the vicinity of the destination. So don't stop now. And now is the time to give yourself permission to wave your magic wand and to put your magic and your light out there, because it is going to come to fruition. You are going to manifest it. That's the whole point. But you got to get out of your own way in order to be able to do it. And that means overcoming the fear of opening the heart up again, getting excited about something again, taking that risk that you might be disappointed again. You might be let down again. I don't feel that that's what's going to transpire, but that is the fear that you're dealing with. And finally, this is our outcome. Who will you be on the other side of this journey if you stay on course? And this is in February. What is the result of embracing the full death and rebirth cycle? Love it. Another ace. Ace of chalices, ace of cups. Your love cup is full and overflowing. Everything you kind of touch is going to turn to gold. You're going to have plenty of energy to do the things that you want to do. There's peace in your heart. I mentioned earlier there's a time of peace. I think that was the Hermit card where I saw you releasing the timekeeper, the hourglass. You're going to have the time that you need. Sorry, now these are all sticking to the table. Here we go. You're going to have the things that you need. And this is an initiation. This is like a card of baptism. And it's not baptism by fire. It's baptism into a new way of feeling, into a new way of approaching how you feel about life, how you feel about the people in your life, how you feel about yourself and your choices, and the kind of nourishment that you want to give your soul space. February is going to really align you to all of that. And you're going to be able to drink from this full and overflowing cup. And it's going to continue to refill itself. So this is something you don't have to worry about. Oh my God, where am I going to get the thing? Like, I don't want to drain the cup because I might not be able to get it back again. No, I feel like that is reversed for you now. You're going to have all the things that you need, provided that you're in the frequency and the energy of bringing heaven to earth. Wow. All right, Virgo, that is your transformational tarot reading for February of 2026. As always, sending you guys so much love and support on this journey. If you need some help, click on the link below, book a session with me. Would love to be able to support you in that way. Also, if you'd like to keep the conversation going and you really like this type of content, click on the join button on my YouTube channel and check out the 3 different levels on how you can become a fabulous phoenix with me. Would love to be able to connect with you in that way if it resonates. Until we see you for another episode of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life, sending you lots of love and support. We'll see you on the flip side, and transform well.